it's Diane, the Creative Inkster, and today is Wednesday, July the 7th. I'm hanging out here for What's Up Wednesday, so I'm really glad that you're going to pop in and listen to me and maybe interact. Let me know you're there. If you're watching the replay, check in. It's always good to know who's been watching because this is momentous. I brought out a product I haven't used yet that I swear had dust on it. It's called Pearlized Enamel Effects. It's 3 bottles in one package for like 20 bucks, 21 bucks, I think. And these came out last fall, but I didn't start playing with them till now. And they're kind of neat. They're different. They're a different product than some of other stuff. So I wanted to show you some of the fun techniques you can do with them. So I made this card today. See how shiny it is? That's what you can do with the Pearlized effects. You can make your paper shiny and make it look like it's really fancy paper, but it's just regular cardstock. So we're going to actually, I guess, make this card but with some different colors. And then I'm going to show you a few other things you can do. So something else you can do with the Pearlized Enamel Effects is create your own little enamel dots. So this will take a little practice in getting the sizing right, but I'll show you how I did it. These ones have been sitting for a couple hours, so they'll be ready to go. And then we're going to use, so that was with the red, the shiny is with the white, and the black, it's not really a dark black, which is kind of nice. It's almost like a dirty gray. And so we're going to use that on a brick wall. So let me show you some of my trial ones. First of all, this turned out wonderfully well. I really liked it. I used, hi Vicki, I used a blending brush, but I've now switched to sponge daubers, and I'm going to assign one to each of the colors, because I don't have a huge number of blending brushes. And I've washed my blending brush after using it, and I found that it has starting to dry, but like the color came out of it, so I wouldn't leave it too long if you're going to use that, but I did find that it did clean up pretty well. This is an embossing folder. So I embossed this cardstock first, and then I used the white Pearlized Enamel Effects. This is a regular embossing fold, a regular standard embossing folder, not too deep. This is done on Flirty Flamingo with the 3D. So it's a little bit more of a raise. It cuts into your paper a little more, makes it a little bit more pliable. And I thought that the Pearlized effects might land on top. It does go into the crevices, which is okay, because I was kind of going for let's just change the paper. But that's kind of how it looks on a much more defined 3D embossing folder. I'll probably make that into a card. Then I was playing with the red, and I wanted to add it to white cardstock that had been embossed. Once again, I kind of hoped it would go on top, and some of it splotched in one spot here, so I'm not really sure that I have a purpose for this yet, but I'll come up with something to use it up. And then this is an old, just a piece I had kicking around in my scrap bin that I grabbed with the old brick. And this is the black, which is more of a shiny gray, almost a silver. So we're going to try that on very basic white paper, rather. So let's get this stuff out and start playing. So what I'm using is my silicone craft sheet. So you'll see that you can see the shininess on there, but it's already been taken off. I don't know if it leaves like maybe a stain or something on it, but that's fine. I use this for all kinds of crafting projects. We're going to grab the stuff to replicate the card. So for this, I've got myself a regular card base, 8.5 by 5.5. Scored at 4 1/4 and folded. This is Azure or Azure Afternoon. I don't know how you pronounce it. I'm probably not pronouncing it correctly, but I throw it out there if you want to come up with a way to say it properly. And I'm going to stick my white on the inside, and that'll be done. I like this blue. It's a beautiful, bright, almost a royal blue. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous color. I wonder how they come up with the names, coming up with those different alliteration names. I really do. All right, so what we're going to do next is I've already embossed this with the Countryside Blossoms embossing folder. This piece, it may not look like it. It kind of looks white, but it's actually Bubble Bath, which is a light pink, and I wanted to see this embossed with the Pearlized effects as a light color versus the darker color, because I think the darker really showed it off nicely. And this is Gorgeous Grape on Lemon Lolly. I want to see kind of the difference between the two, and then I've got a little bit of white for my greeting. So what I did was took the white first, and I found that it does dry kind of quickly, so you want to be moving it around. So I'm just going to grab a sponge dauber, and we're going to squeeze it out here, probably about a dime's worth, but it's pretty tall. Okay. Oops, oh, that's not the lid. There's the lid. I'm just going to close it up so that it doesn't decide that it's going to go ahead and dry out on me. I'm going to move this piece of paper because I'm going to use kind of a messy piece, because this is kind of technique-y and messy. So I'm just going to daub this in here, spin it around a little bit. I don't want a big huge glob to land in one spot. So I'm going to take this in the corner and I'm going to spread it around. So I kind of found you needed to put an amount down and then play with it to kind of get an idea of just how thick it needs to be to go on there. So we can see the shine. You see that there? On the right side is where I've been putting the Pearlized effects. So it dries super quick, which I think makes it really helpful. Very much like Wink of Stella. So you see I've used that amount that I've already put down there. So I'm going to squeeze out some more. I didn't want to put too much at once. And then get the other half of this card done. I think with it being a light color that I'm not in danger of putting too much down in one spot. So I'll keep this sponge dauber specifically for this. They come in a 5-pack for $12.25, so super inexpensive to have. I usually buy new ones when we get new in colors or new colors this year anyway, so I'm often having them. But wow, oh my, do I ever really, really like this. So look at that sheen. Wouldn't that look great with seashells and other things that are shiny, like mother of pearl looking stuff? So I wasn't sure if I would like the lighter versus the darker, but I really do. Like, I think with the darker one I could see where I was applying it more thick in some spots than others. This spread it around really nice and just makes it look like beautiful pearlized paper. I like that. I think it's drier in the middle because it's dried. I don't think it's that I've missed any spots specifically. Okay. Does that make a difference? Yeah, because it all looks the same. I'm looking at it in the camera view and it all looks the same to me, to the naked eye. All right, so let's finish up this card because I do like to finish things. I'm going to hand cut, I think is what I'm going to do on this one. So here's Layering Leaves. This is a new stamp set for me. It matches the bow punch. So we actually have stamps that go with the bow punch. So if you have that one, this is kind of a neat stamp set. $33. I like the greetings on it. I'm going to use Sending Hugs and I'm going to hand cut it out. So let's find that. I haven't used this one too much just yet. In fact, I haven't used it enough to put it all on the inside of the case. And just while I'm here, I'm going to show you. This is a photopolymer stamp set. So on the inside cover, there's the greetings so that you can put them all back and know that none are missing that way. That never happens. Who does that happen to? Me, all of the time. All right, so let's add Sending Hugs to here. Here we go. I'm going to hand cut that out with my handy dandy scissors here. And that's really easy to accomplish just by following around the outline of the letters, leaving a little bit of a white edge. And I kind of wonder sometimes as I'm doing it when I have a straight edge like the bottom of the word hugs here, and whether I should try to do it straight or whether I should wiggle it a little bit. So I tend to just give it a little squiggly so that it doesn't, because I'll never get it straight, right? So this will help me make it look like it was supposed to be that way. And the purpose for hand cutting out like this, not to torture yourself, as some may think, is so that you can get a whole lot less of the excess white out of there than if you'd punched an oval or something. Hey, Glenda, world traveler that you are, welcome back. Thanks for popping in. So here it is with the Pearlized effects on it. And then here's some new ribbon, a duo combo. No, it's 3 colors. Sheer ribbon combo pack. It has Lemon Lolly, which I've already opened, the Bubble Bath, and the Azure Afternoon. So I'm going to use the matching blue. And see, it hasn't even been opened yet. Okay. I always think these are going to be easier to open than they are. Get my scissors underneath there. And this is nice and sheen. A nice sheen to it as well, which I think is nice for complementing the Pearlized effects we're working with here. Okie dokie. So one of my quick ways to add ribbon and not have it go to waste, get that out of the way, is to grab my glue dots, and instead of wrapping it all the way around and having ribbon hide at the back, I'll take a couple of glue dots and put them on the back, sort of where I want it to land. I'll move this one over to this side. So I've got one here and one here. And then I'll just add my ribbon this way. And make sure it's somewhat straight. And put it there and snip it off. And you could take your Stampin' Seal and give it a little bit more oomph, or if I'm putting dimensionals on the back, I'll put my dimensionals right on top of it. What am I using? I'm using the Pearlized Enamel effects. So this is the white. Did you get this? I just started using this. Like, I had it in on my shelf for ages, and it was just like, time to use this. All right, so I'll put that out of the way. And then I just cut a piece of about, I don't know what this is, maybe 4 inches. It's probably even longer than I need. And then I tie this up. Now, some people like to have a glue dot behind there to hold it in place. I don't know. I find that they stay fairly well, but depends how sheer the ribbon is. If the ribbon's really, really sheery, it will want to jump off and such. So maybe we'll put another glue dot behind there just for good measure. We're not going to put the Pearlized enamel dots that I created with the red on this card. I'm going to save that for another card. So hang with me, because I've got another card to do. And then I'm going to put this on with dimensionals. Let's see, and we'll just put these here just to kind of give them a little bit extra to hold them in place. I'm using up a bunch of ends. I was packing for my class tomorrow night in Breslau at the community center, and they've been that's a class where I provide all the adhesives, and they've been playing away at their dimensionals and going around and around and around in the center. And so I have all these ends to use up, which I love to do because I don't want them to go to waste. Frugal person that I am, and who is not a frugal crafter, right? So maybe put 2 more just to really kind of hold this in place. So there we go. No one's going to see this, so it doesn't matter how it looks on the back. I got all the backings off? Not quite. Not quite yet. There we go. All right, and we'll pop this on the front. So this is a really simple card, actually. It's 1 layer embossed. So if you have embossing folders and you like to use your embossing folders, woo, this is right up your alley. And then we have our greeting that I hand cut out, and has, anybody see it? It has flown the coop. It's attached to something. Oh, there it is. And we'll put a little bit of adhesive on the back of this. Pop it up a wee bit. Give it a little bit of life. Oops, that's the backing. There we go. And then you don't need a lot except a few embellishments. So sending hugs. Like, it is really a simple card. You could do some stamping on the inside, but if you're looking at something that you want to have pack a nice wow, and you don't have any pearlized paper, because that stuff's expensive at $2 at two sheets in the pack, or whoever you get it from, this, you can just make this up yourself really quickly. And so then I would put some embellishments around it. Okay, so that's using the white. Now for this one, we're going to use the black and the dots, and then I'm going to show you one more thing to do with the pearlized effects, at least that I've been playing with now. This card is, this piece is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2, and folded. And I'm going to put a piece of white on the inside. Now, normally I would use this card this way, but my team member was over and she was talking about how her mom loves the cards that she sends her, but she says when they are folded on the side, I'll show you what I mean in a second. Oh, we're just about done this one. When they're folded on the side, they sometimes, with the humidity, will fall down. So by that I mean, if your card orientation was like this, that she finds that over time they slide down. Humidity, you know, whatever, can maybe have an effect on that. So my team members started doing cards like this, so they have a little bit more way to hold them up. Now, I really don't think of doing them this way. Sometimes it's a happy happenstance that I intended the card to open this way, and I've cut the paper the wrong way. So here we go. All right, so now we have another new embossing folder. This one is exposed brick. I loved the brick other one, and I love this whole look. It's so great for everything. So this one is 6 by 6, and it's a 3D one. So we are going to use the black, which is actually a silvery gray, so don't let that throw you off. Just going to move this around so I have a little bit clean palette here. And the reason I'm using a matte, silicone matte or craft sheet is because it doesn't really stick to it ultimately. You can wash this off really easily. And I'm not going to do this all over like I did on the last one for Pearlized. I'm going to, just make sure it doesn't go on too dark there. Okay, I'm going to put it on some of the brick. So because it's highly raised, I haven't tried this out yet, so this is all to give it a go and see how it works. And I'm just going to add some here. So there aren't as many raised areas. Actually, I can probably go more around it, and it'll catch the edges of the bricks. Look at that. Wouldn't this work so nicely for like a wedding card? Not necessarily with the brick, but with other images or other embossing folders. So we're getting over here where it's kind of going on the flat edge too, and that's okay. That's how we're learning how it works. It gives it kind of almost the dirty look, right? My intention originally was to just go diagonally across the page, but now I'm liking this look all over, so we're just going to go with it. We're going to live a little. I'm going to put some down in here too, along this edge here. Okay, so if there's parts where it turns out that it's a little bit darker than maybe you wanted, that's where you can put your greeting. That's what I do. Okay, so that's how that turned out. Shiny and a little dirty, a little gray. So this is going to go on to red, and then I wasn't sure if I would use the gingham, the black and white gingham, because I wasn't sure how the silver was going to turn out, or if I was going to use the real red ribbon from the red and burlap set. So let's pull them out and see what speaks to me. Or this. I think I'm going to put the red around, and then I'm going to cut a little bit of the black and white check, and I'm going to put them together for the little tie. So the first thing I'm going to do though is glue these two bits together. Oh, I just grabbed that nearly empty. Yeah, I think we're empty. I think we can let that one go. Grab another pot of liquid glue. Again, I use these in that class in Breslau, and they're getting down on the pots, so it's good for me to play with them and get them working and used up, and then give them all new pots to work with. All right, so that's going to go down there. Then I'm going to take the red. I'm going to do the same thing I just did with the glue dots on the back on the last card. Do we do that? You look around and go, where are the glue dots again? I'm going to put those on the red, on the back of the red. And then I just kind of have an idea where it's going to go. We'll take our piece of red and wrap it around. Yeah, I think on the right embossing folder, maybe even that Countryside Inn one that I just used with the flowers, that this would be really pretty for a wedding card or even invitations. So now I'm going to take 2 of these and cut them, and then they're going to go together. I'll just make sure that the black and white check shows up a little bit better than the red. It's kind of prominent. Here we go. Let's see. I cut a lot of ribbon here. That's okay. I'm just going to let that show. Doop, 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 doop. Okay. I'm going to cut it a little bit tighter. Hey, you. There we go. Cooperate. All right. I'm going to snip those edges off and these edges off. And we have some more of the black showing. And then this is going to go on the card base. Once again, I think we'll jump in with some dimensionals and get those in position. I don't know, what do you think of this Pearlized Effects? It's different, huh? It's a different product and fun to play with. It's a 3-pack. You get them all 3 colors. I think it looks really nice for specifically for Christmas cards or winter holidays. And then we need a greeting of some kind. Oh, we do have a piece. And we have, I think we got a lot of red going on here. I think we're going to go with black. And this one's going to be so happy to celebrate you. I like that. So happy to celebrate you. Yes. Can I read backwards? Sure I can. And I've used this one on another card, so it was out. Let's get some ink on there. So this is the Memento, Tuxedo Black Memento. There we go. And we'll do a little quick hand cut. And then I'm going to post all of this stuff so you can go back and give this idea a whirl when you can bookmark it and go back and choose once you get your Pearlized effects. So I'll be placing orders this month because it is our paper sale for the month of June. Most of the designer series papers from the annual catalog are on sale at 15% off. So it is a good time to stock up if there's ones that you want to get. I know, right? Pretty cool. I think I first saw Patty Bennett using it in February when I attended Alison Okamitsu's event, Glenda, and she showed how to do on the embossing, and I kind of like that. All right, and we're going to add these enamel dots that I created. So I would probably use wax paper next time, but I just had the press and seal product downstairs, and so that's what I use. I'm just looking for my spatula end on my take your pick tool so I can get underneath it, and then we're going to use little glue dots. Now, do I have like the mini glue dots? Because I usually have those kicking around close in hand, but I don't think I do. So I'll just take our mini. The ones from the Paper Pumpkins are even smaller, and they can be even better for doing this because they're even smaller. So you can play with the sizes of the dots. So actually I should show you how I put them down. So I took the enamel dots, and it says red and it is a bit pinky looking, and I squeeze some out, and I kind of let them drop a little bit, like this. Just gonna squeeze. There you go. And you let it come out like the Dairy Queen does, but without the dip. And then it will be like a little drop, and it'll kind of flatten a wee bit. So you can play with getting different sizes. And then they flattened out when they dried. And it took about an hour for them to dry. These ones aren't particularly big, so I guess the bigger you go, the more time you're going to need for them to dry. So let's see. Like I said, I'm not sure how well they're going to come off of this stuff. Oh, there they go. Okay. And so I need a little glue dot. This is all an experiment here tonight. Oh, these glue dots are kind of big. So we'll make them into a little ball. They seem mini until you want to put them on with something. And we'll put them up here. I guess, you know what? A dab of glue would probably work just as well. Let's take this crazy glue dot off there. We're just going to put a little dab of glue. We're going to live dangerously. A little dab of glue there. Sure, there we go. And a little dab of glue here. And a third one over here. I don't know, you may not be able to see that, but I can see it. And now we're going to grab those enamel dots that I made, and we're going to put them down. One. I think this takes a little practice. Oh, the second one turned out much better. Two. Get on there, you. And a third one. They came off a little better than I thought. There we go. So there we go with 3 dots. So you could do them in the Pearlized and add some re-inker to it, and then you could make them in other colors. But you just need to let them dry. And I'm thinking if you left them overnight, it would go way better. Hi, Lynn. Thanks for stopping in. Oh, that's a good idea. The flimsy plastic pieces. I never keep them. Glenda, I was forever, and then I was like, I have to stop keeping all this stuff. That would work. All right, so there's a couple of cards, and I'm way over my usual time, but I wanted to show you one more thing to do with this that I was playing with, and it involves the leftover of my cling wrap here. Where did I put it? Because I tore a little piece off. Okay, well, we'll tear another little piece off. So we'll just grab a piece. Oh, there it is. I bet regular cling wrap would work great. So this stuff is sticky on one side, so you don't want that side up. And we're going to get our thingamabobby back in here. And we've got some leftover of the gray or the black on here. So we're going to add a little bit more so we can use it up. And then just on plain cardstock, this is Coastal Cabana. So I've kind of scrunched this up so that it's going to have different edges to it. And I'm just going to do this. And I'm going to splatter it. And it's not the same kind of like splatter when you go like shooting it across with your finger with flicking motion, but this is just adding it on here. And like I said, it dries really quickly. So you're going to get it ready to work on whatever you're going to use it on next. So, I mean, we do this with ink and stuff too, but with this Pearlized stuff, like it's really nice and shiny, and it's a great way to use up that which is left over on your mat to make an interesting pattern. I might even buff this up a little bit. And there we go. So that's just using it up. And then I took this to the sink. I didn't even use soap and water. I just wiped it off. Actually, I used a baby wipe to start and then just wiped it off. And so yeah, you get like this kind of a pattern that you can also use for a layer. So thanks, Lynn. Yes, you'll need to watch it. It's all about these 3 products that come in one package: Pearlized Enamel Effects, the basic set. So I hope that means we're going to get more. It's white, real red, and black, but honestly it's very gray and silvery, and I think it goes a long way. And I'll bring in my cards one more time and post them. So here's where I use the black on the thick 3D embossing folder and the enamel dots I made. This one is on the light colored cardstock with the white pearlized, and then this one on the dark with the white. Alrighty. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Great to catch up with you. Take good care. Have a great week, and I will see you on Monday. Bye for now.